Greetings, this is Fallon Hart, and I want to talk to you guys about Zootopia, the recent movie by Disney that came out, well, recently, and its message. Now, already, it's not been out very long, but already there's a bunch of articles online about how it has a race message, a sex message, gender message, a gay message, a trans message, whatever you want. And I find this really funny because these people are so wrapped up in the little worlds that they don't realize that it doesn't have any of those things and has all of those things at the same time. It has a discrimination and prejudice message. Like, okay, the entire thing has little... And I won't even say subtle, because they're as unsubtle as you could possibly get, but they're incredibly hit-over-the-head messages about various things that you can attach to the world. And what you get out of it says what you see these things as meaning says more about you as a person and what your kind of outlook is than what the movie is. The movie very simply has a prejudice and discrimination message. That's really all it is. So what did I see? Well, right from the get-go, we've got the obvious, woman in a physically demanding job kind of aspect. She's a cute little woody rabbit, and she wants to be a cop, which is a physically demanding job, and people don't think much of it. People don't think she's going to get very far because she's a rabbit. All the other people are these big rhinoceros and wolves and hippos and lions and that kind of thing. They don't think that there's going to be much of it. In fact, I said cute before. Cute is apparently a racial slur. A rabbit can call another rabbit cute, but when someone else calls a rabbit cute, ooh, So there's that. So there's a women in a physically demanding job aspect. So the military, the police force, that kind of thing. What also I got out of it that I haven't really seen anyone else talk about yet, and really says more about me as it says more about me than anything else, because this is one thing I got right from the start, is that where you're born, either into money, like what money you're born into, what kind of work environment you're born into, what geographical environment you're born into, dictates your future. Or at least dictates what people expect of you. Again, the main character, Hops, she was born in a... I'm trying not to spoil very much of it, but this is right at the start, so you're really not spoiling anything. But she's pretty much born in a... kind of a hick country lifestyle. Her parents are carrot growers, farmers, and she's very much born in that kind of environment, and she wants to grow up to be a big city cop, and everyone's like, that's not gonna happen, that's not gonna happen, that's not gonna happen. And they say it's because you're a rabbit. Now that could be a race thing, that could be a gender thing, but it also could be you're just a farm girl. You're just a farmhand. You're just this little nobody in the middle of nowhere that nobody gives a shit about. And again, me being a Scouser from Liverpool, that pretty much is, again, this is from personal experience, but yeah, that's pretty much what I got out of it. And again, it says more about me and my outlook than it does the movie. Further on through the movie, we've got this fox that touches a sheep's hair, and he's like, oh my god. And that's about the whole black people having a different texture hair to white people, Caucasians. And I didn't even know this was a thing until the internet made it a thing, but apparently a lot of black people have to deal with people wanting to touch their hair because it has such a different texture to white people's. And I think I remember sometime when I was a kid actually did the same thing. So there we go. But yeah, and she's like, don't touch her hair. The rabbit next to him was like, don't touch his hair, don't touch her hair. He's like, oh, it's so fluffy. There's that. And then as soon as she exits the room, because she's a sheep, he turns to the rabbit and goes, "Do you think she counts herself when she sleeps?" Again, that could have been a racial slur. That could have been a racial slur. He wouldn't say it until she left the room. That could have been a racial slur. There's the whole thing about how people see foxes. From the very beginning, they're saying foxes are sneaky, untrustworthy individuals. That, you know, that they do whatever they want to get their own way, and they're just these horrible, horrible people that you need to avoid. And the rabbit's parents gives her fox repellent. Now, I got two things from that. One, it's the race. You know, black people, Mexicans, whatever you want to attach to. I know Mexicans is very much an American thing. But whatever you want to attach to it, that's what that repellent is for. With the whole third wave crazy feminist thing going on right now, I actually thought men as well. You know, these foxes are these horrible rapists that just want to get what they want. You can't trust them. Keep this rape repellent on you at all times. That's what I thought. That's what I got out of it. Now, going into a bit of spoiler territory here, you later find out that certain predators are going feral. They're losing their, for a lack of a better word, humanity, and they're turning into these wild animals, stripping their clothes and killing people and things like that. And it all seems to happen to predators. And also, you don't see a woman. Don't see a female character with this going on to him. And then later on down the line, it's said that it could be because they're genetically predisposed to be vicious killers. And the first thing to come to my mind was, again, you could put a racial thing into that. You could say black people, but the first thing to come to my mind was, again, men. With the whole feminist thing going on right now, it's these, like, men are apparently predisposed, genetically predisposed to be vicious rapists that need to be taught not to, you know? That kind of thing. That's what I got out of it. So when these animals were going absolutely mental, they were going feral, they were losing their minds, and starting ripping off all their clothes and attacking people, what come to my mind? A race. Not race. The whole men are rapist things. That's what came to my mind. The whole the narrative spread by third wave feminists that men are all rapists that need to learn not to be rapists, not understanding that rapists do not only come with a penis, but do not give a shit how many times you tell them not to do it. They're still gonna fucking do it. You know, and all you're doing by telling random men not to rape is insulting these specific men by implying that they will do what is societally the worst crime you could possibly commit. Just because they have a penis. So that's where I got from the whole these people are going feral thing. Again, it could also be classified as a race thing. And so far I haven't seen a single homosexual aspect of this, but there is a homosexual article out there saying this is a parable to homosexuality. I've not seen a single thing in this so far about that. There's also a moment where this little chihuahua, it's a fennec fox, and he's dressed up like an elephant, and his father's like, oh, I'm being purposely vague to avoid spoilers, but he's like, oh, he really wants to grow up to be an elephant. People keep telling him he can't be an elephant, but he really wants to grow up to be an elephant. And the bunny, because she's had her whole life, you know, people saying she can't be a cop because she's a bunny. She kneels down to the little kid and she says, don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't be. That, because the whole fennec fox elephant thing, that to me was very much a trans thing. So I got multiple things from it. There's more I can go into than just that. I'd have to watch it again and remember, but they're the ones that popped into my head. And the whole point is, I didn't even see a single homosexual thing to it. But gay people issues is never really something that pop into my mind, except when it comes to dealing with like religious dickwads. Because from day one, I've been kind of raised in an environment where it's being considered normal. It's not being taboo whatsoever. And as a result, I don't. It's not something that sticks out of my mind whatsoever. You know, beyond the fact that if people stop being, you know, homophobic, then it sticks in my mind. But it's not really something where I'm actively looking for connections, or even subconsciously looking for connections. It's never really something that hits me, unless a character is outwardly flamboyant and falls into that stereotype. But no, I never really saw any homosexual aspects to it, but apparently some people did. And again, it's the movie, what you get out of the movie says more about you and your outlook and your beliefs and opinions than it does the movie. The movie is about prejudice and discrimination. Nothing else. And what you attach as the prejudice, as the discrimination, says more about you than anything else. So, what have I got out of it? Most of what I've got out of it have been race issues and gender issues. And that's mainly because of the environment on the internet right now. A few years ago, I would never got the whole men are rapists kind of aspect to it, or the woman in the workplace kind of aspect to it, because that thought was never placed in my mind. That thought was never something I heard people discuss about. I always thought women can do whatever they want, men can do whatever they want, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone, it doesn't really matter, and their gender really doesn't dictate what, you know, they can do. But apparently there's a large group of people online that keep arguing that women do this and men do this, and men are evil because of this and women are evil because of this, so women are weak and pathetic and need to be protected at all times, as said by feminists. And because of the environment right now, the whole race and gender thing is popped into my head. Black Lives Matter, third wave feminism. A few years ago, none of these would have entered my head. If I watched this a few years ago, hell, I may have even thought about furry-anthropy. Again, the fox that wants to be an elephant, or thinks of himself as an elephant. Trans may have not have entered my mind at that point. Maybe furry-anthropy would have entered my mind. Otherkin, essentially, would have entered my mind at that point. A few years before that, I probably wouldn't even think of any of this stuff. I would just think, they're being awfully mean to the rabbit. You know, I wouldn't have made any of these connections whatsoever. So yeah, your environment definitely does impact your thinking, but yeah, the environment definitely does impact your thinking, come to think of it. But so yeah, a few years ago, I wouldn't have thought about race issues, I wouldn't have thought about gender issues, because I've always seen these people as equal. And the only thing that has entered my mind, the only reason it has entered my mind about the whole combat between them, or arguments between these two things, or multiple things, is the internet. People crying discrimination, discrimination, discrimination. That would have never entered my mind, because I always saw these people as equal, but apparently they're not. Apparently men are raging rapists and women are weak, pathetic things in need of protection, according to feminists. But yeah, to stop going on the rant, the end point, which I've said a few times so far in this, is Zootopia is not about gender or race or orientation or anything like that. It's simply about discrimination and prejudice, and whatever you get from it, whatever you attach these open-ended, prejudiced discrimination aspects to, says more about you and your outlook, and more so the world today, than what it does about the movie. I remember back in the day when I was a kid watching X-Men, and there was a bunch of people who started talking about how they thought it was about gay people or immigrants or race. And I thought, really? Because I just thought it was about a bunch of people who were born different to a bunch of to most people in the area, and as such they're treated as dangerous. And oh, I get it. So it really depends on you. It depends on your environment. It depends on the times, what people are going to get out of this. The movie itself does not have a message beyond those very simple things. So yeah, I've repeated myself a few times now. This has been Fallon Hart giving you much of a braingasm. And yeah, tell me down below what if you've seen the movie, or from what you've seen of the trailers, what you think of it. Like, what prejudice or discrimination aspects entered your mind. Yeah, really good movie, by the way. One of the best animated movies I've seen in years. Especially one of the best Western animated movies I've seen in years. Again, it's been Fallon Hart giving you your much needed braingasm. I will see you next time.